Happy Self Love Sunday. I am Mo Sass, your host of Self Love Sundays with Sass. I am your certified vision and empowerment coach and newly certified extreme execution coach. I'm super excited about that. I will explain more about that in another meeting. Um, and this month, we have been talking about ownership. And I'm going to take ownership of the fact that I'm going to sound very nasally today because I am really under the weather. However, and that doesn't stop me from showing up for you every single Sunday. So, in the month of October, we talked about taking ownership of your life. And last week, we talked about taking inventory. And last week, nobody told me how I thought it was the last Sunday of October. Hello, people who view my videos. And I didn't even realize that we had one more Sunday to go, which I thought that's awesome because we get to continue this journey of taking ownership of our lives. And last week, we took ownership. So this week, we are taking ownership of our lives by personally developing ourselves. So again, when we talk about personal development is looking inward and focusing on ways to better yourself. And it's much larger when we talk about personal development than, just it encompasses all aspects of your life, right? Not just your career. Okay, because a lot of times when we talk about personal development, people automatically go to career, but it's much larger than that. And the one word I want you to key in on this is personal. So what that means is what personal development looks like in this season for me may look very different in your season. And then you have to make it personal to you, not following what everybody else is doing or what you think you should be doing based upon what they're doing, but what areas in your life, this is the question, do you need to grow in? Right? What area of your life do you need to grow? We took inventory of the things that we probably need to get rid of or maybe need to work on. So let's talk about that, right? What areas do you need to grow? What areas do you need to open your mindset? What areas do you need to take yourself, your family, right? Your soul to the next level. So when we talk about different areas, I'm talking about, do you need to grow in emotional intelligence? Do you need to become more self-aware? Do you need to get physically healthy? Do your communication and organizational skills need to be better? Do you need to grow your goals? Do you need to be mindful? Mindfulness is huge. Does your nutrition need to get better? Does your problem solving skills need to get better? Do you need to work on teamwork and collaboration? Because I'm going to tell you right now, I believe in collaboration over competition any day. You don't get anywhere competing against anyone but yourself. I promise you that. If you compete against who you used to be yesterday, that's the only competition there should be. Right? And and especially my women, when we walk into a room, we should see collaboration over competition, not to compete with your sister. I mean, that's nothing wrong with a little healthy competition, y'all. Now, I used to be a powerlifter. I get that. But I'm talking about overall in your development of growth and social skills. We should walk in the room and be like, hey, listen, I want to collab with my sister, not compete against her. Okay? Or learn how to grow alongside of her, or what did it take for her to get there, or even for my men, for the someone else to get to where they achieved in life, right? So it's all about learning, growing, and developing, not walking in the room, turning up your nose and judging. So I'm just gonna say it from what I see. So I'm in the social media era of doing research when I'm thinking about whatever topic I'm going to talk about, even when I'm working with clients. And the biggest thing that I see is that's lacking is emotional intelligence in communication. And there's this big thing out there where there's nothing wrong with it, right? Right now, the big hype, the big story is, what's going on with Kanye West, and people are dissecting the story, right? And I don't think anything's wrong with it. But this is what I'm gonna say: if you're spending more time debating someone else's life instead of developing yours, that's where the problem comes in at. That's an issue. So many times I'm watching people, there's nothing wrong with watching the news. I choose not to. There's nothing wrong with watching these television shows. Even if I choose not to, that's okay. Because again, it's personal. So everybody is different. Doesn't make me any better that I choose to read books. Okay. I'm a little bit of a nerd. So what? Okay. It doesn't make any better. But here's the thing. If you're spending more time, more hours debating other people's lives instead of developing yours, how is that helping you? How is it growing you? How is it growing your brand? What is it doing for you? To sit around for hours, I watch people for hours debate this man. And do I have a personal opinion about it? Sure. But in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. Because what I say and or do is not going to change that man's character and what he decides to choose for his life. So I decide in that moment that I'm not going to waste my time. I'm going to do what I do and make my choices, but I'm not going to spend hours debating on this man's life instead of developing mine. If I don't like something, I want to change it, not tear it down. Because what does it do? What does that do? That's a question for somebody, to be honest with you, right? There's nothing wrong with healthy conversation. And I've had debates, but debating someone else's life is more than developing my own. That's not happening. And it shouldn't happen for anybody. And I normally never push that unless it's your brand. If that's your brand, when we talk about brand, we're talking about business. If your brand is, breaking people's, psyches down and all that stuff, fine, so be it. Because it fits, right, what you're doing in life. But if you're still not growing, if you're still sitting in the same place that you were yesterday and you're debating a multi-million because they say he's no longer a billionaire's life, we need to discuss that. Okay? So, and then here's the thing. When I talk about, ownership, when you take ownership of your personal development and say, hey, listen, in my life right now, communication in my home is broken down, or communication on my job is broken down, or I'm not as open-minded as I want to be, or I'm not growing as much as I would like to. My home is a mess. My organizational skills within my mind are a mess. So I can't focus and I can't be mindful of being in the moment, right? That's how you take ownership of your life and say, okay, I want to grow in this area. I don't want to be the same, even spiritually, right? I want to grow more in the spirit, right? And why is that important? Because wisdom comes from God. So fearing him, right, is the beginning of knowledge, right? And where do I get this from? Because I know people are like, wow, you have to show up with the word, okay? And before I used to just say it, because I read the Bible and I understand and I know it and I break it down for me, but I did write it down for you, okay? And I'm talking about Proverbs 1:7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. And what is he talking about there? He's talking about the people who are know-it-alls, right? The people who are dogmatic in their ways, and just not open to anything new, right? It's like, you have to learn. Here's the thing. Listen to what I'm saying. You have to learn how to learn from others if you are that type of person. You may need to develop in that way to open yourself up to something new, right? Why? Because there's newness of opportunities. There's newness. Listen, there's abundance out there for you. But if you're closed-minded on it only has to be your way and you can't listen to no one else and you can't grow, then guess what? You are not going to grow. And what he's talking about in the Bible is seeking God's wisdom. So how do you seek God's wisdom? Studying his word, right? So how do I know that? Proverbs 2:6, for the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. Study his word. And this is the thing. I talked about it a little bit last week when we talked about taking inventory. This is why people, when a preacher says something or they disagree or they're like, see, that's why I don't go to church. It really makes me angry because of the simple fact of no one told you that you had to do that. What God said is study my word. So go study his word. Go study his word. What does that have to do with what that pastor or that preacher did? Nothing. This is about your personal development. This is about your salvation. This is about your soul. Right? So, and then it leads my favorite proverb of all times it's everywhere written down. Proverbs 11:14, for the lack of guidance, and you probably heard me say this in other videos, for the lack of guidance, a nation falls. But victory is won through many advisors. Who advises you? If you want to be advised by the Lord, read his word. Whoever your God is, I just want to say that. Right now, I'm quoting the NIV version of the Bible. That's the Bible that I love. Personally, Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, and I'm not shrinking back or folding back for anybody because of that. And I will tell you, whoever your God is, that is fine. Because what did I say in the beginning? This is about personal development. This is personal to you. This is not about me. But whoever it is that is your God, you should be studying them, right? That's how you want to grow with your God, whoever it is. And I'm not here to tell you who it is, and I'm not here to convert anybody. Not my job. My job is to come here to open you up to new ways of learning, new knowledge. Education is indeed freedom. Because here's the thing. I don't care how much money someone shows you that they have. If they lack development, A, they may not keep it. B, and just because they have it doesn't mean they have peace. That part. Why is it so important to study and to get into the word of your God? It's so that when abundance does come your way, because it will come if you continue to grow and develop yourself, you can have peace with it. Who wants to have something and be in turmoil? It's so funny because even when I listen to women, we talk about, being married again one day, and it's like, that's wonderful. But why wisdom is also important is because it helps you discern, helps you make better choices. Because it's one thing to say that, I'm going to be married. It's a whole other thing to say that it's going to be peaceful. And listen to my words, because I know somebody coming for me. Don't come for me, come for somebody else's mother, okay? I said peaceful, not perfect. There is no such thing as perfect. It doesn't exist but within God. That's it, that's all, okay? So my question is, who is advising you? And how is that working today? If you're not seeking out any wisdom, if you're not seeking out any guidance, if you're not seeking out to learn, how is that working for you? If you're decided not to grow, and this is the thing that happens in couples and relationships, and I'm talking all relationships, not just couples, I'm talking about with parenting relationship, with friendships, right? When people dig their heels in, it's like, well, they just want to blame the other person. That's the one thing I will say, and I don't give myself credit a lot, but I'm going to give myself credit for this. I've never done that in relationships. I don't just say it's the other person. 9 times out of 10, I'll look at the fact of what I was lacking, and then I'll go and I'm going to grow from that. And I'm going to go learn how to communicate better, right? I think that what happens a lot of times in relationships, even with parenting child, is like, well, I'm right. And here's the thing. You can be right. You can also be right by yourself. To the right by yourself. Like, this is the thing with, even when I'm watching what's happening in this world, everybody needs to be right. I'm right. Okay. What do we get for that? A trophy? What? Instead of seeking understanding, we're seeking to be right. Instead of seeking understanding, you have to hear my way. This is the way to do it. I believe success leaves clues, but I believe that there's more than one way. That's exactly why my program is called Finding Your Way. Yes, I'm going to help give you clues and open up those blind spots that you can't see. But this has to be finding your way, not mine. That's why personal development is so important. And it's because it's personal to you. Everybody likes to look different, right? I come from inner city. Like I tell you every video, I'm a statistic. According to them, 322 a month welfare mother, 16 and pregnant, yeah, whatever. Married and divorced, all the things. Okay, that's my background. I know other people and I'm a city girl, so I know women who are from the South. Different story, different behavior, different characteristics, right? That's why I said it has to be personal to you. And the biggest thing about personal development, you gotta want it. It's so funny because if people talk to me about coaching and reaching out to me, I don't convince anyone to do anything because you have to want it. Everything I wanted in this life, I knew that I didn't just want to be on welfare for the rest of my life. I knew I wanted to leave an inheritance for my children's children before I even knew what that meant, right? So I sought it out. I read the books. I listened to the people. And here's the biggest thing about that. I did not just read the books. I put it into action. It's one thing to read a book. I love my mentors, Eric Thomas, Miles Monroe, Priscilla Shirer. I love Sarah Jakes as well, right? There's a new book I'm reading by Rory Vyas, I think his last name is, and I know I'm saying it wrong, but it's called Take the Stairs. I love all of those things, but just to read it and do nothing with it does nothing for you. Put these things into action. Even if you're listening to me, if this is something that resonates, put into action. If it's something that you know may resonate for somebody else, share it with them, give it to them. That's the other thing too. Once you get the knowledge and the wisdom, share it. It doesn't hurt anything. And so when I talked about education is freedom, I'm not just talking about education from schooling, college. I'm talking about when you educate yourself. You know, my mentor said something. He was giving a speech and he was like, we're all going to die one day. Shock value, right? You're going to die. You're going to die. And you know, I hear that. I haven't just heard it from him. I've heard it from many people. And I just want to say this. That doesn't shock me. That does not move the needle for me. Because here's the scariest thing for me. The scariest thing for me is the people who are living dead. That's scary. You have an opportunity. You have another moment. You have another second. You have another day to better your best, to give it all you got. And you sit in complacency, in dogmatic ways, and tear people down, and don't move, don't grow, don't love. Like that, to me, that's scary. To be amongst the living dead. You have an opportunity every day that you're above ground to do it different, to open yourself up, to have abundance, because you can surely have it. If I can have it, you can have it. Why am I saying that? Hello, didn't I tell you how I started? But here's the thing, not even where I am today is the end. And it's the same for anybody who's listening to my video. And I'm not trying to motivate you. I'm trying to get you to open your mind to understand that it's transformation, honey. That if you open yourself up to growing, it can change the DNA of your entire family. Just by you breaking the link in that chain. But you gotta want it. And you have to seek it out. And here's the thing, start small. You don't have to just like up and change everything out. You know what I mean? Personal development shouldn't feel daunting. It shouldn't feel like a chore. It shouldn't feel like that. So that's why I would tell anybody who's just getting started, start off with one thing. Start off with something like learning a new skill, right? Learning emotional intelligence, please, I beg of you. If you're running around here acting off emotion gets people killed. Emotion gets people hurt. Emotion has you making decisions that tears apart your family. Everybody's out here moving on emotion, thinking the grass is greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you develop it. The grass, like real talk. Think about how grass gets green. Unless you're laying down some sod, and even then you have to take care of that. For those of you who don't know what sod is, you want to look that up, okay? But you have to take care of it. That's why I don't have a plant. I'm gonna tell you right now, because it requires you to take care of it to live. Your family doesn't have to be torn apart. You don't always have to up and leave that career in the beginning. Develop yourself so that when you make that move, I've been at my job 25 years. I haven't left yet. Why? Because I'm smart enough to realize that the plan has to be in place. Put the pieces of the puzzles in place. And then I'm going to walk out of there. But I'm not going to act off emotion and disrupt my entire family if I don't have to. Some of you are making emotional decisions just jumping into relationships instead of just taking the moment and taking your time. Because I promise you, who you partner with will determine some destinations in your life. It's just the truth. And I love. I love on people every day. Nothing fills my soul more than that. I swear to God, I always say, I think God built me to love. He built me to love in a very special way. And because of that, I have to partner with somebody who respects how I was built and what I need, what I'm tasked to do in this world, what my purpose is. Why am I sharing this with you? Because I want you to hear that. You have to be with somebody who understands that, understands your purpose and why you're here, and understand that when you join together, that it should be for the glory of whoever you call your God, and they should be able to glorify that. And you should be doing something together in this world as well as individually. Okay? So I just wanted to share it with you. We start talking about love, child, I go to a whole nother stratosphere. So I know I've talked a lot. So let's talk about some steps, right? I want to give you 5 steps to developing a personal development plan, because you have to plan for it, guys. It's not just going to happen. And you're gonna have to walk through it every single day, and you're gonna have some battles. I was talking to my client last week, and I could feel her internal battle, because yes, as you start to walk into your new season, it's this unknown. It's this unknown. It's like literally walking out of the wilderness into the city streets. Like, what am I gonna do? Right? It's like, oh my God, it's so new. Like moving to a new city or a new town or starting a new job. All of it's unknown. So when it's unknown, sometimes the familiar wants to come back. But that's when you have to be strong enough and or have people in your corner to say, no, it's okay. The old you needs to die so the new you can live, and you can go on and have an abundance of all new things. Okay, so number one, you're going to identify the areas in which you want to improve. So you want to make a list of the things that you want to improve, and you're going to start off small and do one small thing. Okay. Secondly, I'm going to tell you, I'll say it time and time again, you want to work with a coach and or a mentor to help you assemble the plan, because sometimes it happens, because I'm on an accountability call. I'm a leader in Breathe University, which is Eric Thomas University, and I see all the time people come and it's like they have a million things. I'm going to tell you right now, people think you can multitask. You can't. 9 times out of 10, you're ignoring a piece of information or a puzzle, or I'll tell you how my mentor says it. You can't chase 2 rabbits. You're not going to catch either. So what happens is people get overwhelmed. So a part of what I have to do then is like, okay, no, let's focus on the one thing. Focus on the one thing. That's why I say start small, right? Because sometimes we need that small victory before we go to those longer things. Okay? And so having a coach there, what happens when you have, they can see your blind spots. Right? I can help walk you through to help you find your way. This is what I do for my clients all the time. The testimonials on my page. I'm not selling you on me. I'm telling you what coaches can do. And just like when you go to find a relationship with a partner, or jump into no new friendships, you should treat a therapist and a mentor and or a coach the same way. Right? Interview a few of them and find the one that's going to be best for you. All right? This is personal development. Find what's best for you. All right, number 3. Structure your personal development goals. So examine what you're going to do day to day. So what is the one thing I can do every single day, right? I want to grow let's just say for example, I want to grow my reading skills, right? So I'm going to read a book every single day for 10 minutes a day. Why? 10 minutes won't overwhelm me. Remember, I said it shouldn't feel daunting. Right? It should feel like something that you can do. You can give me 10 minutes a day. I tell people that even with fitness, you can give me 10 minutes a day. Sean T used to have an 8-minute workout that would kill you. Okay? So you can give me 10 minutes a day. All right? So, and then so what do I mean by that? So you want to look for ways to build habits or stack habits. So what is habit stacking? So habit stacking, for example, would be, say for example, you want to work out, but also your favorite TV show is on. What I tell people all the time is, sure, watch the show, and during the commercials, I want you to get up and move your body. Even if that means jogging around your kitchen, doing knee raises, or whatever. You can do push-ups, sit-ups, whatever that is, what am I doing? I'm stacking habits. Now, granted, I don't watch TV, so that necessarily will not work for me, but here's another way. Go for a walk and listen to your favorite book. Go for a walk and listen to a sermon. Go for a walk and just listen to something that's going to really help feed your soul, right? That's going to help take you to the next level. That's a way to habit stack, all right? So number 4, find an accountability partner. You need someone who's going to hold you accountable, not somebody who's going to ride with your mess, okay? Not your girlfriend who's going to be like, girl, it's all right to take off because she's taking off. No, you want to find someone who's achieved what you've already achieved, right? And who's going to hold your feet to the fire and say no. Listen, and so an accountability group that I'm a part of, right? They have people like, listen, if you miss it, you got to pay $50. Now, $50 may not mean a lot to some people, but it does mean a lot to some, okay? And so it's like, oh, I don't want to pay that $50, so I'm going to do what I said I was going to do. Because a lot of people start off, oh man, I have to say this. If you're having arguments in your life because you're a dreamer, it's not because you're a dreamer, because I'm a dreamer. Oh, I'm a big dreamer. I have big dreams. I talk about them all the time. Right? If you're having arguments about it, it's not because you're a dreamer. It's because you're not a doer. I'm gonna say it again. If you're having arguments, it's not because you're a dreamer, it's because you're not a doer. You're not showing any proof that you are going towards that dream. You're not showing any proof by that dream coming to fruition, by you bringing money in because of your dream. And that may take a little bit of time, but if you're just talking about it, but you're not being about it, that's why you're arguing. I said what I said, argue with somebody else. It's the truth. Because people love dreamers. We're the creatives. But if I was around here just dreaming, and my kids are like, okay, mom, you just dreaming, but you don't have nothing to show for it. You haven't built the website. You're not getting the clients. You're not showing up every single Sunday doing the videos and doing all the things you said you were going to do. Then you're just a talker. And that sounds good. But here's the thing. Action. That's why I said don't even come just listening to things. Put some things into action. That's why you're arguing. It's not because the woman doesn't believe in your dreams. It's because she's like, okay, well, don't talk about it, be about it. And I got your back. But she's not gonna have your back if all you do is dream, and nothing ever happens. Especially if she's a go-getter. Okay? All right. Just help somebody today. Hope freed you up. All right? All right. So, and lastly, be honest in the where of your progress. Be honest. If you say that you're gonna do something every day, even if you start small, 5 days a week. I'm gonna move my body 5 days a week for 30 minutes. I'm gonna read a book 10 minutes a day, right? If you say you're gonna do that, but then you don't do it, be honest with yourself about your progress. That's how you'll know most times, okay, I need help. I need to bring someone in, okay? My job is to take you from point A of where you are today to point B. But here's the thing, no one can take you anywhere unless you're ready to go. Please don't show up at these people's door not ready to work. Come ready to work. Come ready to transform. Come ready to do it different. Come ready to feel different, because that's what it's about, honey. That's when you learn about emotional intelligence. Oh, man, when I sit in my dream, I think about how I'm going to feel when I get there, right? Like, so when I'm working with my coach, I'm like, yes, because I feel that. I'm going to the next level of the thing that I said I wanted. But don't show up talking about you want something, you don't want to put in work. I promise you, we all put in work. We all put in work. So here's the thing. I said it before, it's simple, not yet easy for some people. How do you make it easy? You do it every day. Now the things that before that wasn't as easy for me are easy. Doing this is easy. I remember when I first started speaking, it was hard. I was like, oh my God. But now it's easy. It's easy. Moving my body in the beginning was hard. Working out with my trainer, she kills me. But now it's getting easier. Okay? You can do this. But you gotta stop saying you want something, but not making a movement towards it. And I'm gonna tell you this too. Please don't say, if I'm gonna give you another tidbit and a big nugget before I leave here. If you change your mind from saying, I can't, or I shoulda, or I woulda, or I coulda, to how can I, your life changes. Don't say I can't afford something, say how can I? How can I make the investment in myself? When you're paying for a therapist and a mentor or a coach, you're not paying for them. You're investing in you. That's why I've grown, because I never looked at it that way. Like, oh, I'm not paying them my money. Are you crazy? I'm not paying them. I'm investing in me. And because I've decided to invest in my personal development, I've studied myself approved to be able to help personally develop someone else. That's why I went and got yet another coaching certification. People are like, what? Yes, why? Because I want to take my clients to their next level. And I found something, it's an assessment that I can help my clients take to understand themselves, to understand that their preference is killing them, and how to move outside of some of their preferences so they can have what they want in life. Why am I doing that? Because I understand that it takes for me to continue to develop, to take my people to the next level. I'm not going to ever be the person that talks about it and not be about it. See, I'm the dreamer that does it. That makes the difference. That makes the difference. So my kids trust me. My family trusts me. It's like, yeah, my mom's going to do that. See what I'm saying? So I hope you have, now this is officially the last Sunday in October, and I thank you for hanging in there with me with my nasally nose. I hope you have the most amazing Sunday. Remember, you can reach out to me, www.info@mosas.com. I'm sorry. It's info@mosas.com. I'm sorry. It's www.mosas.com for my website. www.moessass.com, and I'll leave it in the end of this video as well. You can also message me on Instagram and Facebook. I love you. Have a great day.